A259A, the priority interrupt controller. First let us check why should we need such a device. See this picture. Here you have n devices D1, D2 up to Dn. You have connected all these devices to 8086 by sharing the INTR line of 8086. The INTA bar line of 8086 is also connected to all these n devices. In normal case, any device can raise the interrupt request and it will get serviced. Suppose D1 make the interrupt request, it will send the interrupt request through its IRQ line, it will reach 8086 INTR line, 8086 will acknowledge that, then a D1 will put its vector on the data bus, 8086 will read that, then the corresponding interrupt service will be initiated. Okay, in normal case it is okay. Suppose 2 or 3 devices makes interrupt request simultaneously, then whose request will be served? Then another issue is you can't impose device priority. Device priority means some devices has highest priority. When a request from a highest priority device comes, the CPU should stop the service of a lower priority device and it should initiate the interrupt service routine for the highest priority request. This is not practical with this arrangement. So we need a special device to manage all these things. That's why we should use a device like A259A, the priority interrupt controller. Now when you are using a device like A259A, priority interrupt controller, you can arrange your devices like this. So here you can see there are 3 A259As. 1, 2, 3. This one is connected to 8086. So this 8259A is called the master PIC. The others are slaves. The slave 8259As can be connected to any IR line of the master. You can see these two slaves are connected to the IR lines of the master, and you can see one device also connected to an IR line. You can connect another 8 devices or PICs to this slave, then another 8 PICs or 8 devices to this slave. See, in the master 3 lines are used. Then you can connect a PIC or a device to any of these remaining IR lines of the master. See, this INTA bar line from 8086 is connected to all the slaves as well as the master. IR0 as the highest priority and IR7 as the lowest priority. We can rearrange the priorities. That also possible with 8259A. By default, IR0 as the highest priority and IR7 as the lowest priority. Let us check how do we connect an 8259A with 8086. See this side, these signals are coming from 8086. This 8259A is a part of a circuit. So every device in a circuit should have an address. Let us check for what address this 8259A, this one, will be activated. 8086 places the address on its address lines A0 to A19. Then for what values on this pins, this 8259A will be selected or enabled. For that, we should check from where this chip select signal is coming. You can see it is coming from Y0 output of this decoder. So for LS 138 is a 328 decoder. So this signal, chip select signal of 8259A is coming from Y0 in this circuit. Okay, we are going to decide what is the address of this 8259A in this circuit. Okay, then when will this Y0 become active? That is, this Y0 output of 74LS138 will be selected when A000 comes on these lines. Okay, CBA. This is MSB 000. C is coming from A0, that is 8086 pin A0. The C is connected to A0 pin of A086. B is connected to A4 pin of A086. This A is connected to A3 pin of A086. So Y0 will be selected. It find only if A0 equal to 0, A4 equal to 0, A3 equal to 0. Okay, let us note down that A3, A4 equal to 0, A0 equal to 0. Then what are the other address lines of 8086 involved in the selection of E259A1? See, A5, A6, A7 involved. Then what should be the value of A5, A6, A7? See, these are the enabled pins of 74LS138. So this will be active when a 0 reaches on this line, 0 reaches on this line, a 1 reaches on this line. So next let us think when a logic high will reach on this line. See here, these are negated. So this is an AND gate with negated inputs. So a logic high will appear on this line when all these pins are zeros. When a 0 reaches on this line, it will be negated. A 1 will reach the AND gate. Okay, like this. A7 should be 0, A6 should be 0, A5 should be 0. A5 to A7 should be 0. A5 to A7 should be 0. then M or IO bar, A0 should reach here. Since this is not memory, this is an IO device, definitely the signal will be 0. The signal is 1 means selecting memory, the signal is 0, it is selecting an IO device. So this is 0. So let us think about this signal. Okay. See, this is a NAND gate, isn't it? Then again its output is negated. So this should be active if a 0 reaches here. This is active low. A 0 reaches here. A 0 will appear here if and only if all these inputs are logic high. So A8 to A15 should be logic high. Signals A16 to A19 are did involved in the selection of A259A number 1. So no need to think about that. So 16 bits are used to select this device. Okay, this 16 bits will be decoded, and according to the result, this device will be selected or deselected. So if this combination appears on the address lines, the device A259A number 1 will be selected. Okay, A2 and A1 is not considered. Okay, let us think they are don't care. Okay, then what is the address of A259A number 1? The address is 16-bit value. So this will give you an F. A9 it is logic high. Okay, let us check the figure. A9 it is logic high. Okay. Then 1, 2, 3, 4. This will give you an F. This will give you an F. Sorry, 0. Let us assume these two bits are zeros. Then this will give you 0. See, we are deciding the address. We are writing the program related to this circuit. So we are assuming these bits are zeros. If these bits are zeros, you will get the address F of 00. If you are assuming these are ones, you will be getting F of 06. We can decide the address because we are writing the program to manage the circuit. Okay. So if you place F of 00 on the address lines A0 to A15 of 8086, A259A 1 will be selected. Then can you tell what is the address of this A259A? The second one. In this circuit there are two A259As. So this is C. The INT pin of this A259A is connected to or INTR pin of 8086. So this is the master and this is slave. So its INT pin is connected to IR3 pin of the master. Okay, our task is find the address of this slave PIC. For that, analyze the chip select. So chip select of this device is coming from Y1 of 74LS138, the decoder. Okay, so Y1 will be active if and only if the 74LS138 is enabled and 001 appears on this pins C, B and A. 001, that is A should be 1. A should be 1 means A3 pin of 8086 should be 1. Okay, this is the only change. A3 pin is 1. Okay, let us mark that A3 pin is 1. Others are same. So this will be, sorry, it is 8. This will be 1 0 1, sorry, 1000. It is 8. So the address will be, this is F08. The address is FF08 8259A 2 will be selected. So in this circuit, the base address of 8259A 1 is FF00 and the base address of 8259A 2 is FF08. Next, let us check the block diagram of 8259A. See the internal bus, and the blocks are connected to this internal bus. Data bus buffer. 8259A has 8 data lines, and these data lines are always connected to the lower half of 8086 data bus. It receives the interrupt identification number through those lines. Next, the read-write block. You can see RD bar, W bar, A0 and CS bar. CS bar is chip select. A0 is the address line. So inside 8259A, you have two locations for initializing and configuring or controlling 8259A. A0 is one, a particular location will be selected. A0 is equal to 0, the other location will be selected. The two locations are the initialization command word register and operation command word register. These locations are used to initialize and control 8259A. This A0 will be connected to one address line of 8086. See here the A0 pin of 8259A number 1, that is connected to the A1 pin in this circuit. RD bar connected to RD bar pin of A086. WR bar connected to WR bar pin of A086. This block accepts output commands sent from 8086. Next block is cascade buffer or comparator. This block stores and compares the IDs of all 8259As in the circuit. The associated three IO lines CAS0 to CAS2 are outputs when 8259A is used as a master and are inputs when 8259A is used as a slave. See the circuit. This is the master. Its CAS0 to CAS2 lines are connected to CAS0 to CAS2 lines of slave. When this 8259A is configured as a master, these lines are used as output lines through which it will send the ID of the slave. In a slave, these lines are used as input lines. These are used to receive the IDs sent by the master. As a master, 8259A sends the ID of the interrupting slave device onto the CAS0 to CAS2 lines. The slave 8259As compare this ID with their own programmed ID. Thus, selected 8259A will send its pre-programmed subroutine address onto the databus during the next successive INTA bar pulses. When just one 8059A is used in a system, the cascade lines CAS0 to CAS2 can be left open. We can see SP bar or EN bar. This is a multipurpose pin. When 8259A is in buffered mode, this pin is used to enable buffers. When it is not in buffered mode, this pin is used to inform the 8259A whether it is a master or a slave. When this is 1, the 8259 is a master. When this pin is tied to low, 8259A will act as a slave. This block is control logic. This INTA bar pin of 8259A will be connected to INTA bar pin of 8086. The INT pin of 8259A is connected to the INTR pin of 8086. Next, the interrupt request register IRR. These are the interrupt request lines. By default, IR0 has the highest priority, IR1 next highest, and so on. IR7 has the lowest priority. This is an 8-bit register, 1 bit for each interrupt request line. This register keeps track of which interrupt input lines are asking for service. If an interrupt input line is unmasked and has an interrupt signal on it, then the corresponding bit in the IRR, that is interrupt request register, will be set. The content of this register can be read to know the status of pending interrupts. The content of this register can be read to know the status of pending interrupts. Next, interrupt mask register IMR. This is an 8-bit register used to mask or unmask in individual interrupt request lines. Each bit in this register corresponds to the interrupt input line with the same number. That is, bit 0 in IMR corresponds to IR0, bit 1 of this register corresponds to IR1, and so on. To mask an interrupt request line, set the corresponding bit in the IMR. Next is in-service register, ISR. This is also an 8-bit register used to keep track of which interrupt inputs are currently being serviced. For each input that is currently being serviced, the corresponding bit of ISR will be set. Next is priority resolver. This logic block determines the priorities of the interrupts set in IRR. In 8259A, during the service of an interrupt request, if another higher priority interrupt becomes active, it will be acknowledged and the control will be transferred from lower priority interrupt service to higher priority interrupt service. Priority resolver takes information from IRR, IMR and ISR to determine whether the new interrupt request is having highest priority or not. If the new interrupt request is having the highest priority, it is selected and processed. The corresponding bit of ISR will be set during interrupt acknowledge mission cycle.